Sir, we sincerely thank you for your continued engagement with our students. We respectfully invite you to commence technical session. Sir, we welcome you.
Sorry, good afternoon everyone. Very good afternoon. I understand that Telugu is Telugu English, right? Which language is comfortable? Telugu or English? Hindi, yeah? English. So I'm pretty much comfortable with all the three languages. You can ask me any kind of questions. First of all, once again, thank you, Uday. This is not just an opportunity. It was privileged to come to my hometown. So thank you so much, and let's see. We are already around half an hour late, and my request is that for everyone who is sitting in the front, back, middle, and everyone, irrespective, I am a person. So I ask questions, I learn from that, I interact and I learn. So literally no pen and paper is needed. This PPT is available. This PPT is my thought, but technically generated from one of the prompts. But what I have done is that I have not blindly as a prompt. So let's talk from the basics. Leave GAN for a while. Leave GAN for a while. Let's talk the myth and fact of one basic thing which is happening around the world. Can someone say, imagine that your grandfather of 76 years or 80 years is asking a question, Nana, artificial intelligence and the AMP. What is artificial intelligence which you can be able to explain to your grandfather or grandmother or your parents? వాళ్ళు ఏమంటారు రోబోట్ ఎందుకమ్మా మనకి మీరు కొద్దిగా గ్రౌండ్ చేయాలి అందుకనే మీ ఆన్సర్ని కొద్దిగా గ్రౌండ్ చేయాలి గ్రౌండ్ జీరో చేయాలి ద టార్గెట్ ఫర్ నెక్స్ట్ 1 hour is ground zero. Shall I repeat? What is it? Ground zero. Ground zero అంటే బేసిక్ లెవెల్ అంటే బేసిక్ లెవెల్లో కాదు బేస్ లెవెల్లో కనుక చెప్పకపోతే హైవే లెవెల్లో నాకు ఎక్కదు. I don't need anything which is up in the air. I want something on the ground. మేఘాలలో వెళ్ళే ఫ్లైట్ గురించి నాకు అక్కర్లేదు. ల్యాండ్ మీద ఉన్న వందే భారత్ ట్రైన్స్ గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుకుందాం. So, simple straightforward question. Before we talk about GAN, Generative Adversarial Networks, GAN, which is a part of the AI system. Everyone knows that, right? Now, I think after lunch కొద్దిగా moments వస్తాయి. All the youngsters, if you can stand. Officer, youngsters, not for the lectures, please. Sit. Stand. Sit. Stand. 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 Sit. Sir. Of course, age is just an engagement. Anyways, after sessions, anyways, so what is artificial intelligence? Let's make it simple and easy. మీరు ఏం చెప్పకపోతే ఇప్పుడే అయిపోతుంది సెషన్. ఓ థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్ అని చెప్పేవారు పర్లేదు.
Ability to make a mission with the ability
Why should I think like why should I machine think like you know అవసరం
సార్ మన పనులు చాలా సింపుల్ గా సార్.
ఎందుకు సింపుల్ గా చేయడం?
ఎందుకంటే ఎవాల్యుయేషన్ అనేది జరుగుతున్నప్పుడు థింగ్స్ కూడా ఎవాల్యుయేట్ అవ్వాలి.
ఏంటి ఎవాల్యుయేట్ అవ్వాలి? బ్రో అన్ని క్వశ్చన్స్ వై అనే కాన్సెప్ట్ మీద వెళ్తారు.
ఇప్పుడు జనరేషన్స్ అనేవి గ్రో అవుతున్నప్పుడు ప్రాసెస్ అనేది స్పీడ్ కావాలి కదా సార్. ఆ ప్రాసెస్ ని సింప్లిఫై చేసుకొని ఆటోమేట్ చేయడానికి ఏం మనం క్రియేట్ చేస్తాం.
నేను ముందు ఒక క్వశ్చన్ అడిగాను. మీకు ఇదే క్వశ్చన్ మీరు మీ గ్రాండ్ ఫాదర్ అడిగితే మీరు ఎలా చెప్తారో అలా చెప్పండి అని చెప్పాను. మీరు మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళి సైంటిఫిక్ ల్యాబ్ లో పడేసారు. సరే అండి నన్ను చూసుకోరా పోయి ఆడుకుంటారు. ఎస్
AI is something that can make repetitive work easier for us and simpler.
then what is the repetitive work?
For example, if your daily routine involves you to do some particular work. For example, maintain records of some transactions.
మళ్ళీ మీరు అలా సెలవు సరిపోతున్నారు. మీరు గ్రౌండ్ జీరోలో రావట్లేదు అక్కడ.
Sir, if I'm explaining it to my grandfather, I can say that we shop వెళ్ళినప్పుడు షాప్ వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత కస్టమర్స్ వచ్చిన ట్రాన్సాక్షన్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేస్తారు కదా, అది మీరు చేసే బదులు మషిన్ చేస్తారు.
ఓకే అలా చెప్తే వాళ్ళకి ఏమవుతుంది తెలుసా? ఏమన్నా తెలుసా? ఏం చెప్తున్నావు అంటారు కరెక్టా కదా? ఎస్ ఇంకొంచెం గ్రౌండ్ జీరో రండి. మీరు బీటెక్ ఆర్ బిఎస్సి ఆర్ అన్ని మర్చిపోండి. సారీ ఇంకా ఏదేమో
कहते हैं वो सुनने के लिए हमारे पास कोई होता नहीं है, तो एआई को वो भी देता है कि मेरा होता है तो वो कहता है कि वन साइड सुनेगा.
पर ऐसा जो चीज की जरूरत क्या है? बोलो कि यही की जरूरत क्या है?
यही जरूरत है सर. हमारे पास लोग नहीं है जिसको हम अपना फीलिंग बता पाए. अगर ऐसे भी लोग हैं,
अगर किसी को समय तो यही करने
हाँ आप कर सकते हैं सर. एआई को यूज कर सकते हैं.
ऐसा एक joke है actually. A person is trying to propose using AI, and the other person is using a better prompt to propose using AI. Then what is the challenge? Here AI is not the thing. AI doesn't come into emotion. Okay?
No sir, it's different thing. But sometimes we need to only tell nothing, no emotion. Just we want to type and
That's one of the ways. I'll come back to that. Yes, anyone, something, someone from the back.
Sir, AI is
Not. It makes.
it
Go ahead.
makes the complex things in an easy way, sir.
In a easy way. For example, if there is a buffet which I have to eat, buffet biryani or buffet food, it is a complex thing where I have to eat everything or I cannot eat everything. Will AI suggest me what is the best food to eat there?
Yes.
Writing is okay.
Anything. It is separate there as by the way.
For example, our ancestors don't know about this technology stuff, so they completely use their willpower to do their works.
Okay, to give about the way, first of all, the reason to ask this question is that I do hire a lot of interns, but very recently I haven't verified a resume and I hired an intern. Any reason why? Your resume is the first proof of success. Agree? But I don't need your resume is my challenge. So how can you identify that? How can you come to a conclusion that I don't need a resume? When I speak to a person, I can identify that whether he is fundamentally good or not. Foundation says good or not. I don't need the coders anymore in the world. I need someone who is very good at foundation level. The reason to start at the base of the AI is that these days the students can be BSc, BTech, MTech, anyone. Foundations are missing. What is foundation? For example, I have seen couple of people who has done PhDs in AI. Sir, I have worked in machine learning, but I don't know what is AI. This answer. Is it the right answer? Yes. Is it the right answer? It is a wrong answer. First of all, artificial intelligence is not a technology. It's a concept-driven technology. To prove your concept, there is something called as machine learning. Machine learning doesn't have the capability to prove larger data sets or complex data sets. Then you have deep learning. After deep learning, there is something called as natural language processing, that is something called as generative AI concepts. Imagine, best example is that when you have a pain in your hand, right? The first thing is X-ray. The second thing is, come on. The second type of screening is, what is above X-ray? CT scan. What is above CT scan? MRI. So, in the field of artificial intelligence, in the field of in the field of artificial intelligence as well, AI, generative AI, agentic AI, and future is based on the most complex problems. So today, for example, sir, I am creating a videos using AI, I am creating images using AI. That is not AI, my dear friends. That is not AI. Prompting is not AI. Prompt engineering is AI. So what is the difference between prompting and prompt engineering? Anyone in the world can prompt it. Agree? For example, Googling it, you are prompting it. You are doing something in Google, whereas you are doing something in ChatGPT. There is no difference. But in this classroom, how many people are using ChatGPT? Of course, everyone are using it mostly. How many of you have created your own ChatGPT without any code? Okay, is it only? How many people are using ChatGPT is a common answer. How many people of your ChatGPT did understand you? Mean ChatGPT understand did your ChatGPT, your personal ChatGPT, did understand you or not? How many people? So my GPT doesn't give any kind of fancy answers. I don't need any fancy answers. I don't need my GPT to say that Madhu is great, Madhu is wow. I need my GPT to be frank, or else my typing is like around the answers now, solutions now. So what I have done is that for the first 2 months, I haven't tried any kind of results for GPT. I trained my system saying that, boss, this is me. This is how we have to react. Hey, this is the stupid thing. Don't suggest this nonsense. I have trained my system for almost 2 months. First, it was not in a way that I am doing bar for 24 hours, 365 days. But after that, one of the GPT champion, when is it quantitative results? For example, that is giving in a way that very recently I got an opportunity to travel somewhere. And I was telling that whether how that is good or not. Everywhere I can travel and that's fine. It clearly said that whether it doesn't add any value to you. Why? It's giving all my results. I agree for it. Even for this existing hairstyle, if you see my LinkedIn profile picture, my other profile pictures are quite different. No, I don't need a GPT to grow my hair. చలికాలం వస్తే చెట్టు పెట్టుకోవడానికి జుట్టు పెంచేస్తాను, ఎండాకాలం వస్తే కట్ చేసి పెరుగుతుంది. Do I need a technology? I don't need a technology. My human brain is more powerful than the technology. Brain first, code next is model. So I don't need technology for this. Yes, I need a technology. Yes, for the ideation purposes. For me, AI is an assistant, not everything. Now, if you feel that AI is everything for you, then that's the biggest factor. That is the reason why, for the people who feel that the AI is just an assistant, the ideas will be born, the new products will be born up. For the people who feel that everything is AI, it will be replaced by you, and you feel that you say that it is a job loss. Agree? Agree to all my points? Interesting? Confusion? Now, one of the, we'll talk about myths and facts, but ideally today's session is this. Can we go to the... Can images, this is already been spoken by Sir today morning, I believe, right? There is something, some website that says that, is there any website which says that there is no human image, you can create it? Yes, it can create it. You can create it. The person you might not have ever seen it. And the people today are actually creating a funny videos that I found Lanka, I found this one, I found that one, I found some shipping luggage has been wrong. That is not AI, my dear friends. That is just for likes, comments, and subscribe. I have seen hormone. Yes, bhakti is there, but fake bhakti is not there. That is AI. So the purpose is that these things can be created and can be video generated as well. To what extent you are using? If you are using for the social media promotion, that's a different topic. I will use for education purposes. I will use for the training purposes. Okay, that is my LinkedIn ID. If you can connect. The big question is that before AI, computers analyze a lot of data. Now, see, in one of my interview questions, what happens is that imagine that you have to start a business somewhere in South Africa or some other place where there is no business at all. How do you start the business out there? Can you do some analysis? The question is for you. Imagine that you are given an opportunity where I am a manager, say, imagine that I am a manager for Reliance or something, and Reliance doesn't have a store in South Africa or some other Andhra. I have given an opportunity to you to give me a report. What is your first thought process? Trust me, there is no business there. There is no computer like that. Neither you have the data. Still, how do you actually do it? Yeah, question is yours. So sorry. Yeah. So the question is pretty much simple. I was asked to you that you give me some analysis. Give me an analysis that can I start a business in South Africa or Andhra? There is no data points at all. What is your first way of approach?
Trying to find data.
There is no data.
I tried to
Only reach the local communities.
There is no quantity. So there is no such kind of a business at all.
Then we checked for the previous cost of the current Reliance.
No, okay.
But how would you think that the demographic location will be adapted?
Based on this, they are thinking to keep the location.
Earlier, the scenario is computer analyzed the data. Where you try to get the data, you try to collect and do the process. Now, the scenario has been different. You create the data. So, considering this input as a measure, now the system has a capability to create the images or the data from you and give a sample application. For example, even yesterday, I was suggesting to one of my friends, boss, I don't have any data, how would I actually suggest to my company? When you don't have the data, then get the data. When you don't have the data, create the data. Then automate it, then try to show that, okay, if you actually process 10,000 records, this would be the output. So the days are gone, sir, when I don't have anything, I cannot do anything. When you don't have anything, then that's the only time you're able to do something for the company. So the GANs are the one concept which actually made it very simple in a way that's being entirely different. For example, a simple analogy is that the artist is the one where he creates some fake images, but the critic will actually check whether that is real or not. Now, what is the difference between artist itself? How can artist itself actually creates the fake images? Artist need not, even if he creates my image, I cannot claim at some point that this is my image. Now, the question lies out here is that here the human application has to work. Ideally, in the GAN process, this is successful. But typically, GANs are the one which actually gives the entire end-to-end information, whether that is correct, wrong, or incorrect. So this is what, see, entire target of the complete artificial intelligence is to make our life simple, quality. Quality is the parameter of the success for any kind of an AI. For example, today's in the big world, you talk about artificial intelligence, you talk about blockchain, you talk about cybersecurity, you talk about quantum computing. What's the common point of all these things? Huh? Time is nothing, but what is the common problem? I'm saying you're saying the advantage. I'm asking what is the common problem behind all these things?
Accuracy is not there, but after that we have to get the
Accuracy is not there, but why the accuracy is not there?
because
Somebody is saying data. Data? Data is the biggest problem. Data is the root cause of all the technologies. Because there is a huge data, there is an you need to automate and create an intelligence. AI technology came in. Because there is a huge data, you need a transparency. Blockchain technology came in. Because there is a huge data and number of areas, cybersecurity issues there. Because there is a huge data, and for example, in this classroom itself, there are enough AC, so that you are actually creating an IoT sensors. Because of the huge data, the computation power has been challenged. That is the reason quantum computing has been evolved. So, whenever if anyone says, right, what is the root cause of, it's not about artificial intelligence or data analytics or anything. Data analytics is the root cause of every technology in the world. Because we are actually trying to solve the biggest data problems. And there might be a bit of confusion that, sir, AI can do a lot of things, but quantum computing can do many things. Confusion is for here is that quantum computing is calculating. Artificial intelligence is analysis and creating an image out of it, but not only calculation. Computing in the sense, quantum computing or quantum computers are the one who can actually, for example, if some task is been there, where it has to process within half an hour, quantum computers can do it within 20 seconds of time. That would boost the existing artificial intelligence. Confusion clear? So both the technologies will be living for sure. AI is going to take our jobs, or quantum computing is going to take our jobs. So first of all, quantum computing is not a new topic at all. Quantum mechanics, quantum computing have been existing since 1960s. If you go back to the history or go back to the people, where you will see the best books in quantum computing. Computing, remember the terminology, computing and intelligence. Intelligence and computing. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing. If there is a data, if I have to check for the outcomes, then artificial intelligence computer comes into the picture. But what if the data size is pretty much huge and the capacity of the servers are being loading and irritating, then quantum computing comes into the picture. Clear? Is it clear? Confusion. Now, why GANs matter a lot is that, see, if you see, right, have you ever tested with your own GPT by taking your different styles of pictures, different feelings of the pictures, acting, as if you are sad but acting. I have experimented myself. Okay, coffee cup particular. Now we really want a coffee, and I have taken a picture of it. I asked to the co-pilot at the moment. I said that considering this picture into the action, do you think that the person helps us good or not? He said that no, pretty much good, etc. Why? Wow, wonderful. So that I said that you don't have brain at all. When a person is holding that, and I'm taking a selfie picture, the person intents and holding is tensed. When I'm catching it like this, my camera angle is less than, my hand angle is tilted to 5 to 25 degrees. GPTs cannot say this. Human intelligence only can say this. Now, having said that, when I hold like this, right, this is not the pattern to hold. This is the pattern to hold. So, this is the right pattern to hold. Either the person should have the ease in intense, or else he has some nerve-based issue. Now, GPTs cannot give this answer. Why GPT can actually, why human can beat the GPTs is only in this way. Now, even for example, when you test your faces and all, right? It's important for us to understand, for example, if you're trying to act near me or anyone, don't you think that the lecturer or the expert can understand your face feelings? That's the reason don't talk to faces, talk to eyes. Eyes cannot lie. Agree? Eyes cannot lie. Even when I actually talk to my wife and I is like, ladies from the eye or wherever. That too married wives. Experience my lifetime. Mothers are not powerful. Of course, mothers will be powerful. So, deepfake generation, AR, gaming graphics, film production. See, the way the GANs have been working is that in the media entertainment days, the GANs are the best, more. But I would still recommend that the GAN models are always best when you actually try to catch the culprits. Catch the someone. For example, say, is this session really going on good? I have to catch the paper and I have to write the feedback, etc. And you have to get the feedback and then I'll ask you your purposes and get it. Imagine that there's a better technology solution. Instead of that camera having this side to me, I'll actually advise the camera with enough technology and all the face feelings and everything has been embedded into it. And by the end of the session, the report already goes to the HOD or the principal directly. Whether how many people are sleeping, how many people are not sleeping, how many people are partially interested, semi-interested, not interested. Sir, why this guy is taking too fast? You don't see here the technology is helpful. Just for making the videos, the technology is not helpful. Now, to collect the day, a session directly the report will be of feedback system. That is innovation. That is what the world is expecting today. They need to make example the problem statement directly. Problem statement is directly. Me point of me choose to I don't have capacity. Camera will have the capacity. Using some main models then Android iOS output signal done with the graphics perfect reports. Next time other devices. Right? This is the solution, right? This is the solution. Transforming design into sense. See, I'll say what. See, recently I have written an article actually. Artificial intelligence actually human intelligence solution. How many agree? Agree, yeah? In this human intelligence solution. No, it's not like that. Maybe maybe the better reframe of this question is that how many people can dial your closed numbers without your mobile from others' mobile? At least 10 numbers. Mobile లేకుండా వేరే వాళ్ళ నంబర్ గుర్తుంచుకునే టైప్ ఎమర్జెన్సీ టైప్ చేసేవాళ్ళు ఎవరు ఉన్నారు? At least 10 numbers. Less than ఇక్కడ కూడా less than 10 numbers వస్తున్నాయి హ్యాండ్స్. లేదు, because we are systematic. Agree? Okay. Maybe if you are not recording anything. Insta reel or Facebook reel చూడకుండా నిద్రపట్టిన వాళ్ళు ఎందుకు ఉన్నారు? Before sleep or after sleep? Yeah, agree? ఇవన్నీ సహించలేని భరించలేని నిజాలు తప్పవు. So the reason is that we ourselves made the system to give an opportunity to come into my life and take my data and enjoy my data and do the everything which you like it, losing the human intelligence. See, brain has 3 capacities. Especially let me talk about the cerebrum. Have you ever seen that brain capacity of the so brain capacity no brain capacity is scientific proven 2.5 petabytes of memory. You can Google it. 2.5 petabytes of memory for a normal individual is a brain capacity. And especially he is in the working mode అందుకనే 18 to 40 అనేది the most crucial period. Kids are marriage of course hostels and brain capacity అనేది 82.5 petabytes of transaction memory. ఒక నార్మల్ అడూప్ సిస్టమ్ కన్నా పెద్దది. Cerebral అనేది ఏంటంటే ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూ చూస్తుంది. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఈ క్లాస్ రూమ్ this is a classroom, right? Imagine that there is a fire suddenly occurred. I wish that should not occur, but imagine. Whom do you call intelligent and whom do you call as a topper? Then rocket science books to analyze it. Fire was to explain yourself.
ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసేవాళ్ళే టాపర్. రెస్క్యూ చేసేవాళ్ళని ఇంటెలిజెంట్.
Okay, oh sorry. అసలు fire was to explain చేస్తారా? Maybe the other way. Let me reflect. Many other answers.
The intelligent person might run for fire extinguisher and the topper might run to call them.
Simple. The intelligent person trying to actually control it. The topper would like to see, make it clear. The topper can be intelligent as well, but all the intelligence may not be toppers. Agree? Just for see, there might be toppers and toppers can be intelligent too. For example, say Viswanath is a topper. By the way, he is an intelligent too. So here the carry is that here we are trying to make an intelligent system, but not an automation system. Artificial intelligence means intelligence in which automation is one of those parts. Critical situations వచ్చినప్పుడు కాంప్లెక్స్ సిచువేషన్స్ వచ్చినప్పుడు సాల్వ్ చేసే ఏకైక సొల్యూషన్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ AI సిస్టమ్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, I don't need a chatbot which should say what exactly is my bank balance. నాకు తెలియదు సార్. తెలియకపోతే financially indisciplined basically. Or before the yesterday you will get it like how much balance is there. I don't need that kind of bots. I need a bot which can solve my problems. For example, I need a bot which can ask that, okay, I have a house, or else I am just a 23 years person and I have some ideas where I can save money. Is there any investment opportunity within the bank where they can provide for the students who doesn't maintain the bank balance? ఇలాంటి క్వశ్చన్ ఎప్పుడైనా అడగడం తెలియదు. లేదంటే we connect to the banker directly. So ఇక్కడ కూడా మేనేజ్ లెవెల్. I don't need a system which is not too complex. See, we are here to solve the complex problems. A for apple, B for ball, A apple. I don't need A for it. I need the solutions at the K. Fashion design learning, everything is good, but what exactly is this? So allowing the artistic character and everything in these bases, GANs are really good in terms of generating the top models. Having something, everything can be calculated upon. See, machines are no longer just to analyze or all, they are learning to create entirely networks. So I will say, so here it is. There are some problems where machine learning cannot solve, deep learning cannot. There are some problems which deep learning cannot solve. NLP came in. NLP is a part of. నేను చెప్పింది కరెక్ట్ కదా. ఇప్పుడు నేను అది ఫ్రేమ్ చేస్తుంది పీపీటీలో పెట్టలేదు. I know that this is the right system. What is this? And traditional AI, generative AI, agentic AI, very simple example. Zomato, Swiggy apps, I believe that you use it, right? Of course. General anthem ఉన్నాయా లేదా నాకు తెలియదు. మంచి రెస్టారెంట్స్ అయితే మాకు ఇప్పుడు దృశ్యం మూవీలో మయూరా తప్ప ఇంకేది ఉంటుంది. So Zomato is the one which actually tracks your history. It will recommend it. It's a recommendation engine actually. Generative AI is the one which would actually, for example, if you are going to Palasa or other places, though only some restaurants offer Zomato because of the availability of the restaurants and technology, generative AI does it and adds to the cart as well. Agentic AI ఏం చేస్తుందంటే నేను మొత్తం లిబర్టీ ఇచ్చానంటే మీ ఫుడ్ కూడా ఆ టైంకి మీకు మీరు తినాలి మీరు తినలేదని తెలుసుకుని end-to-end automated solution is nothing but an agentic AI solution. There is a pure clear difference between AI, generative AI and agentic AI. Planning for a travel is an AI. Booking for tickets can be a generative AI. But agentic AI will actually plan and saying that might cancel your ticket based on the climatic conditions as well. Now, this is one segment of it. Other segment of it, how much cost? A lot of people say that okay, AI will the job. Yes, there are a lot of jobs which will be cut off. But maintaining the AI is not cheaper, my dear friends. As I'm watching a free food with a free scheme card. AI has a lot of cost involved. So this is where the entire generative evolution has been GAN invented. 2014, 2018 నుంచి 2014 వరకు diffusion models అంతే అంటే ఇది ఇవన్నీ these are all what we can actually implement in the next level where your laptop should be minimum of 8 GB. Then only I can implement at least GAN. The diffusion models అన్ని కావాలంటే నాకు minimum I cannot use the sample data sets. Sample data sets వల్ల యూస్ చేస్తే it's problem solve అవుతుంది. Minimum 16 GB RAM ఉండాలి ఆల్సో క్లౌడ్ స్టోరేజ్ అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక 2000 రూపీస్ క్లౌడ్ స్టోరేజ్ అయినా తీసుకోండి అప్పుడు then you can actually do it. Still the 2020 model is been running very well. So this is one section is not very good. Let me go through this. These are all the major areas where we can actually focus on GAN. That can be infilling AR, gaming, and fashion and voice. Fashion and voice, leave it fashion and voice. I would say that can be implemented more in cybersecurity. Voice-based recognition models. Same voice is not equal to same voice anywhere. So how many models have to train? How many systems has to be impacted? How many models where you have to retrain and make sure that that is working for you. For example, voice can be cloned, originality cannot be cloned. Deepfakes are not the main things for the system. You see a lot of deepfakes. These days we are actually confusing that these are my video or someone's video or external website video. Problem is that till that is not for the reality, the human identity has been spoiled. The good people has been affected. And a lot of other things. For example, I don't want to mention plastic or etc. That is not the solutions. Further, only GANs models are more better than any other models. Right. So solving hard problems in the science and enterprise data, medical imaging system, satellite imaging system, data augmentation, resolution, many problems. For example, say, I don't know how do you look on this classroom. If I am looking at my in this room, this auditorium, this is how I look for. There are like say 3 ACs, 2 ACs, and I can assume number of people who are visiting, number of people who who had at least on an average of 750 grams plus, which is actually 250 grams is the normal diet. Sorry, I'm going more mathematically, don't mind it. Sorry, 878, I must have 250 grams can be food and 400 grams can be yawning. Above 400 you sleep, I bet you. And yes, I'm not here to test your capacity, but after this is 7, you can need a room of 5 minutes. Suddenly we love laughing to the phone. Thank you so much. Power man. Now, where can I get this calculation? Calculation is by chart, analysis is by system, understanding is by human. This is equal to the entire data system. Clear? Oral session is simple. I mean, there is no bigger rocket science than this actually. GAN limitations, both highly showed unstable training, generating the same limited outputs repeatedly. The diffusion models I think multiple levels are there. Deepfake risk, which I am talking about. Misinformation, security vulnerabilities, responsibility. 2 minutes from murder. So unsolved problems wide open for research areas. This is for the PhDs and the people who would like to do it. finding artificial solution for the unstable trading. Unstable trading and for example, what are I am speaking by is this a structured, semi-structured, unstructured? It is not structured. If there is a structure, then I would have written an article. This is not a semi-structured. This is semi-structured because people is there and my voice is also there. Unstructured and a free model. Our target is to make sure that any kind of a data, it can be structured, unstructured, semi-structured, you have to make it in a normal model. Elastic data which is there, you have to make sure that you stabilize the system. That is the target of a system. That is the real capability of a typical IT engineer. Structured data was the formless and the effort you put the column 8 class of 5 years. Unstructured data is the biggest challenge. మీకు ఊబర్ లో ర్యాపిడో బుక్ చేస్తారు కస్టమర్ కేర్ లో వాళ్ళే మాట్లాడతారు వాళ్ళే అంటారు ఓకే మనీ పంపింగ్ చేస్తాం మనీ ఇస్ నాట్ సొల్యూషన్ ఇప్పుడు ఎలా డీల్ చేయాలి హౌ డు యు ట్రాక్ ద ఇన్సిడెంట్ హౌ డు యు ట్రాక్ ద వల్నరబిలిటీ హౌ డు యు సెక్యూర్ ఉమెన్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ నైట్ ప్రోగ్రామ్ లో ఎవరైనా ఎయిర్పోర్ట్ లో దిగారంటే ఈవెన్ అదర్స్ కైనా ఏసీపీ కైనా సరే సెక్యూరిటీ కష్టం కానీ మా అమ్మాయి సేఫ్గా రావాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి ఫోన్ లో డైరెక్ట్ మాట్లాడడం సొల్యూషన్ కాదు రూల్స్ ఏమిటి టెక్నాలజీ ఉండాలి కమ్యూనికేషన్ ఉండాలి బట్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ నే పారామీటర్ కింద చేయకూడదు వాట్ ఇస్ ద వే దట్స్ వేర్ టు ప్రీఫ్రేమ్ ద సిస్టమ్ ఫ్రమ్ హర్ ఆస్పెక్ట్ గివ్ ద టెక్నాలజీ ఆస్పెక్ట్ మ్యాచ్ ద ఫాలోయింగ్ క్లియర్ The most successful field in terms of the artificial intelligence is only healthcare, which is only 2% solved. We are not focusing on the family focusing. Beauty, healthcare, longevity and the word. Anyone did hear about the longevity word? You know, Amazon Jeff or something is using not medicines and all. He's taking a diet so that he can be fit for throughout the life. Longevity is the future. Eppudu evaranga untaru. Annaranti kaadu healthy untaru. Mean to say. There is no need eppudu. Because like I say, 7 or 8 years before I said that when AI comes into your life, they are Ayushman Bhava antaru kada. 100 ga 120 తీసుకోవాలి. But provided you and AI interact each other. అబ్బా ఇది నా సిస్టమ్ చెప్పేదండి నేను ఇవాళ నా పార్టీకి వెళ్ళాలి నేను ఇవాళ ఎలాగైనా సరే వేసేసిందంటే if you want to follow the system then you follow the system perfectly trust me unless until you met with accident or national calamity which has happened you are not going there even for 100 years but accident is not going to give any kind of an injection sadhine chapter the body first of all train in the system for example who is the best person in the world who they understands you. Either your father or mother, don't say that. Sorry?
I'm saying it's us.
Huh? It's us when you get a maturity model. That's what the human maturity model has a brain thinking. So for example, say, maturity model is not biological. I would say that in terms of the thought process. So even at when you might earn, for example, say at the age of 24 or 25, about 2 crores age, maturity model is being guaranteed. Maturity model is being driven by others. See, or else, see, tell me one thing. Imagine that father is working, mother is working. Do you think that the kid should go to school these days? Also, why? Because you are comfortable as a kid with me, but the third person who actually says your real feedback, what is it to do? Now, what you can do, what you can do. Society, you can meet the people in society at any moment of time. Parts of meet out, check out school, uniform is not just for discipline, it's a system. And you can see the third person. So, for example, even marriage at a hostel. Imagine that you two people are staying in a hostel room for 6 months and the third person came in. Do you think that you welcome him? Hey, come on to my వీడు ఎందుకు వచ్చినారు వాడిని పగబెట్టి ఎవరో పంపిస్తే వాడికి ఎక్కడ నెగిటివ్ హోల్స్ ఉన్నాయని చెప్పేసి తీయడానికి వాడు ట్రై చేస్తాం, రైట్? బికాస్ వీ కెనాట్ యాక్సెప్ట్ ద న్యూ థింగ్ unless and until that is been adapted to us. Slowly you will try to understand. Slowly the existing person may go on, but this person can be the different. Even the marriage life, everything. This is not just a science, this is a technology model. You will have to train the model. For example, you know, marriage function together. Hey, Shekhar and Gypsy, your father is there. Your father told me that I was there. One will start, right? Because your training model is different. Artificial intelligence is nothing but a training model only. All the time. Clear?
Yes.
Yes. How is the session by the way? Now, open to questions. Cannot you want to go in it? So, yes. Telugu, Hindi, English, anyway. Achha, any questions? Open to questions. Any
Cloth. Curtains.
How many people woke up daily on an average basis at 46 a.m.? Now, the rest of the people back up. India is the country where luckily the D vitamin is fully available and we don't use it. That's why we don't use it. Basically, jogging is our jogging the health killing and trust me.
Sir,
Yes.
recently you published an article in LinkedIn. Apart from coding, there is IT. Can you say some words regarding this?
Even right now, I was discussing with the cloud AI, which is actually running a lot, the Anthropic cloud, where that is going to write, etc. First of all, you don't need coders in knowing. Sorry, yes, you don't need coders in knowing. But I don't like to hire anyone who doesn't know coding. Sorry, confusing. Coding is not a programming; it's a mindset. So when you have mindset of problem-solving approach, then you will be able to solve any kind of critical problems in the system. That's where I am saying that brain first, code next. So these days, my company, even right now, I got a policy that brain first, code next policy. For example, I don't need your resume. For example, we can interview question. I say that we have to come offline, no online interviews. We want to check the technology awareness. I can't just. I said, okay, come to my office. Okay, newspaper, sir. A newspaper of paragraph. I give a newspaper and ask you to write a program of it. Can you write it? Someone can write it, is thinking, and I like to take it. Someone who has given up that this is one of the worst question ever, and I say, okay, big, thank you so much. I also said in my LinkedIn that out of syllabus. The syllabus question is not Sir, it's not pass or it's not about pass or failure. I don't mind if you don't pass or something. If you don't pass for this year, you will pass for next year. That was like I don't need it. Sir, I have done this, I have done this. I never ask any kind of a complex question. Make me clear. I never ask any kind of a complex questions in any interviews. I ask only fundamentals. If you are fundamentally not fit, then you are not fit to my company at least. You might be the great person, but doesn't suit my needs. In the middle, the client needs a question, the client believes me. When some profile is getting into my window, recently I had to take almost for senior profile I'm talking about 50 resumes for one position, not yet shortlisted. I have taken the client only for two of them. Client have one in more, one person not selected. So even then, 50 out of 2 is almost like around 2% is success ratio, 4% is success ratio. But when it comes to the client, it's 0.5. That's fine. Till I give the right product, I'm pretty much happy to do this career. Yeah. Any questions? Anything. Think of it, we still have a lot of time. Maybe nature is everything. The PPTs are good questions. I am not a PPT person, by the way. PPT is just a formality. Whatever I say, half of the things are already been covered in PPT. Any questions? Your mind to see. First of all, the only success way where you can be really successful is that ask. When you don't ask, then you are not successful. When you don't question, then you don't learn. Anything which you have in mind, take your time. Any confusions, anything?
Sir, if you could just differentiate between an AI engineer and a software engineer.
Software engineer, see, no differentiation, I think that's simple. For example, if you have to keep your, why would I say, if you're already working in AI, is AI engineer not a software engineer? Yes, it is. I don't need to write that I'm a software engineer with AI expertise. Instead, I write that I'm an AI engineer who is working in this company.
I wouldn't really require to learn coding myself.
It's
That
not
would be just an
about-
additional skill that I'll have to learn.
Coding is a mindset where you have to learn. For example,